Hello everyone, and welcome to your Daily 5 for Tuesday, May 9th, 2023. I did your Daily 5 just a few days ago on May 5th, and I did an update on the indexes, particularly the S&P 500, and nothing really has changed in a few days with that analysis. It's still in that big range, but feel free to check out that video. So I thought today what I would do is I would take a look at Bitcoin and some related symbols to that. And for those of you that are new to my Daily 5, I'm Leslie Jouflas of Trading Live Online. I'm CMT, been in and around the markets for a long time, and I usually do these segments at least a couple of times a month. But here's a couple of books: Trade What You See, How to Profit from Pattern Recognition. That covers some of the patterns that I show you on a regular basis in these videos. So let's get right to the chart. So I'm going to be starting today with the chart of Bitcoin to the US dollar. I wanted to take a bit of a longer term view on this. I think it's really easy to get caught up. I trade short term, but I think sometimes we have to take a little bit bigger view of what it is, any market that we're trading. And it seems recently I've been hearing a lot about Bitcoin and the related assets to it, going high and buy it here and that. So I thought, I think I'll kind of go in and take a look at some of these symbols, and I'll just give you my opinion and my analysis. So I was mentioning just a few minutes ago that the book, Trade What You See, that covers some of the patterns that I talk about on your Daily 5, and I also teach on my website. So this particular pattern is called a butterfly cell pattern, and this is known as a reversal pattern. And these patterns they don't always, but they can get very powerful reversal moves when they take hold. And they tend to appear at important tops and bottoms. They are fractals, so they do appear on all time frames. But this particular pattern showed up on Bitcoin in late 2021, and we can look at the structure of this pattern where we have an A, a B, a C, and a very extended D leg. And the pattern starts with a swing prior to that A, B, C, and D. So we can do a Fibonacci extension using that X to A, and sometimes that can be quite extended as well. So this pattern completed, and the market had an initial move to the downside, and then a retest of the high, and then a stronger move to the downside. Well, I think what's really interesting about this is that the retracement from this high to low, from this C to D leg, is only about 50%. And if we take it from the A to D leg to the retracement down, it's not quite at that 50% mark. If we look at a retracement from this low to high, that's not even at the 0.382 yet. So my feeling is that there's potential for more downside to come with the prices exceeding these lows. Now you'll notice on this chart that the MACD here, when this down move started, the MACD made lows, kind of big lows, big momentum lows down here. And it's been correcting up for quite some time now. And it's just right about at the cross line here. The averages here, those have not quite crossed yet. We'll have to see what happens with those. This last rally, the volume has been declining on the upside. What I would be looking for on this, well, first of all, this area of support is very important. If that breaks, then I do believe we're going to be able to see a bigger Fibonacci retracement using the low from 2015 all the way up to this high in 2021. If we see a retracement from this high to just somewhere within this last swing without exceeding it, on a longer term basis, that might end up forming, if it turns back up again, that might end up forming an A, B, C, D. That would be a Gartley sell pattern. Right now, the RSI up here in the top panel, you can see how it's, we made this second high here. You can see the RSI was already making a lower high. So the rally up has not really been impressive with the RSI, and that also leads me to believe that some downside is coming. Now, whether it breaks this low or not remains to be seen, but I think at least a retracement from this low to high is coming. And this is on a monthly chart that we are looking at. So with that, let's take a look at a daily chart. So at the daily chart, we get quite a bit more detail on this. But what I'm noticing on here is this rally. Well, the rally has been really this year with a deep retracement here and then another leg to the upside. So here's the resistance point that currently the market needs to get through to um, do some more upside. But looking at that monthly chart, there's a lot of space between where this market is and the highs. I just don't see what I'm seeing on the charts right now. I just don't see it going up to the new highs right now. And that's sort of the chatter that I've been hearing out in the chatter world, I guess we'll call it. Anyway, but down here, if we look at the RSI in the lower panel, you can see that they're starting to turn to the downside. Once it hit these highs up here, you can see the RSI start to roll over. The retracement up here could not exceed that high. So again, this is leading me to believe that we'll see some more downside, at least in the short term, on the Bitcoin. Looking at a couple of the other symbols related to the Bitcoin space. This is GBTC. This is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And this is one way that investors can participate in the Bitcoin space without actually trading Bitcoin. And again, if we get some perspective on this, this chart, we can see back here, going back here, there was a very large coil pattern, and it broke to the upside and had this big trend to the upside. You can see where the top was made back in 2021. This is called an ABCD. This is called a Gartley sell pattern. And then this swing here ended with one of the butterfly patterns that I just told you about. And then a big decline broke this support level and more decline below that. Now, these lows right here on GBTC are important. This was an IPO back in 2016, so there's not a huge amount of history with this symbol yet, but if you look here where this resistance is, this is the point where GBTC needs to get above in order to even get a retracement that is really measurable in a sense. If we look at the high here down to the swing low here, again, very shallow retracement. So all of the big hype that I've been hearing, it's like you look at the chart and it doesn't look like it's ready to really move to the upside yet. It looks to me like this might stay in this big range for a while. If it breaks these lows, there is, that's not going to be healthy, but there's space below for that to go as well. This is another Grayscale trust asset for ETH, and again, you can see the big rise to the upside and the huge decline. There's just some patterns, sell pattern here. This was a butterfly buy pattern when the market came down and tested these lows. And so far, this is the rally that has come off of there. So you can see the enormous distance between the all-time highs and this low um, on ETH. This just has not had really that much of a bounce if you put it into that perspective. And again, the RSI here looks like maybe turning to the downside. What I'm seeing on the MACD is that this is really showing us the market is in a um, a sideways, big sideways range. We don't really have any big momentum highs or lows on the MACD, but once it does take a direction, if it declines further, especially below this support, we'll probably see that change. And above this resistance, then we'll probably see the MACD rising as well. And the last chart I have today is Coinbase, which is the crypto exchange. And this is only, this is where it came out. That was 2021, I think. And it came out and just declined, a big rally here. Didn't make new highs with the cryptos, with Bitcoin back in late 2021, and then continued to decline. And it's really been in this big sideways range since then. So again, you can see clearly where, this needs to break out in order to start, moving up and retracing some of the big swing to the downside. So far from this high to low, even this high to low, look how far up the 382 retracement is. So this has still been showing weakness by just staying down here in this range. If it does not break these lows, if it stays within this range, I mean a decisive break, not just a little break out and then back up again, but a decisive break, that's a direction. That's down around the 30 level, so room to the downside if that occurs, and then a break of this upper level here, and I would expect a rally at least up close to these lows here, and possibly, if it's strong enough, up to that 0.382. But again, with what I'm seeing kind of across the board, I'm not really seeing the strength coming in to these symbols yet. If I do see that, then I will certainly, add that into a segment on your daily 5. Well, thanks for joining me today. And again, I like to, see your comments if you've got some comments. Now, last time I did Bitcoin, which was a while ago, and it was back when well, I think I've done an update, but back when it did make the highs, and I said, Bitcoin's not going to new highs anytime soon. So I guess that was late 2021, maybe early 22. And there were quite a few comments in there on how Bitcoin was going to keep going to high. So, that's the opinion. I just base it on what the technicals are that I'm seeing, and it's a very speculative market, and right now it's pretty quiet on the speculative side, as we've just seen on the charts. But again, I do enjoy reading your comments, and if you have any questions that I can answer, I'm happy to do so. So have a great week, everybody, and I'll see you on your next Daily 5.